Shall we sing the Nursing Aarti first? Anybody wants to sing Nursing Aarti?
Can I sing, Prabhuji?
Yeah, please, Mataji. Thank you.
Dev Bhagwan ki jai, Shri Prabhu Maharaj ki jai. Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Gala gala dadayine.
Dala dala dadayine.
Hiranyakashi purvakshaha.
Hiranyakashi purvakshaha.
Shilakankanakhalare.
Shilatankanakalaye.
Ito Nrsimha Bharato Nrsimha.
Ito Narsimho Parito Narsimho.
Itayatayami tato Nrsimha.
Yato yato yami tato Narsimho.
Mahe Nrsimha Hridaye Nrsimha.
Bahir Narsimho Hirdaye Narsimho.
Narasimhamadem Sharanam Prapadye.
Narasimhamadin Sharanam Prapadaya.
Tava Karakamalavahe Natha Adhuta Shringa Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringa Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Tava
Karakamalavare Nakhamadruta Shingam Dalita Hiranakashipu Tanubringam Keshavadhirta Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare.
Jaya Nrsimha Dev Nrsimha Dev Nrsimha Dev Jaya Nrsimha Dev
Jaya Narsimha Dev Jaya Narsimha Dev Jaya Narsimha Dev
Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj
Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj
Gauranitai Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai
Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai
Gopala 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 Jaya Gopala
Jaya Gopala 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 Jaya Gopala
Jaya Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan
Jaya Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan
Jaya Tulsi Maharani Jaya Tulsi Maharani Tulsi Maharani Jaya Tulsi Maharani
Jaya Tulsi Maharani Jaya Tulsi Maharani Jaya Tulsi Maharani Jaya Tulsi Maharani
Prabhupada 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 Srila Prabhupada
Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada.
Gurudeva, 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 Jaya Gurudeva.
Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva.
Jai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Jai Gaura Hari Bol.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
विनाशक लक्ष्मी नरसिंहादेव भगवान की जय।
Ki Jai,
कृष्ण प्रहलाद महाराज की जय।
Jai,
गौर निताय की जय। श्री श्री
Jai,
बाल गोपाल जी की जय। श्री श्री
Jai,
राजधरण की जय। श्री
Jai,
महारानी की
Gaur,
श्री
Jai,
प्रभुपाद की जय। श्री
Jai,
महाराज की जय। थैंक यू
Jai. Gaur Pramanande, Hari Hari Bo. Okay, so we start with today's shloka. We'll first of all read the Mangalacharan. Let me share Mangalacharan with you. Excuse me. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Agyantimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Urmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरि गौर भक्तविंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Very good. So we'll do today's share today's verse. Okay. Okay, that's today's verse. Anybody wants to volunteer to read, or you want me to read? Read. Okay. Ehev ehaiva taiर्जितः सर्गो येषां साम्ये स्थितं मनः निर्दोषं हि समं ब्रह्म तस्मात् ब्रह्मणि स्ते स्थितः. Iha, in this life, eva, certainly, tai, by them, jitah, conquered, sargah, birth and death, yesham, whose same, in equanimity, sithitam, situated, manaha, mind, nirdosham, flawless, he, certainly, samam, in equanimity, brahma, like the supreme, tasmat, therefore, brahmani, in the supreme, te, they, sithitaha, are situated. Translation: those whose minds are established in sameness and equanimity have already conquered the conditions of birth and death. They are flawless like Brahmana, and thus they are already situated in Brahmana. Purport Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Equanimity of mind, as mentioned above, is the sign of self-realization. Those who have actually attained to such a should be should be considered to have conquered material conditions, specifically birth and death. As long as one identifies with his body, he is considered a conditioned soul. But as soon as he is elevated to the stage of equanimity through realization of self, he is liberated from conditional life. In 1 minute. In other words, he is no longer subject to take birth in material world, but can enter into the spiritual sky after his death. The Lord is flawless because he is without attraction or hatred. Similarly, when a living entity is without attraction or hatred, he also becomes flawless and eligible to enter into the spiritual sky. Such persons are to be considered already liberated, and their symptoms are described below. So we'll read in the second verse about that. Right. So first of all, I'll just quickly recap this chapter. In the beginning, Arjuna asked a couple of questions from Krishna. He said, first of all, you are telling me that sannyasa is the main purpose of human life, and then you are telling me work with the devotion. See, so I'm a bit confused. Can you clarify which one is the right one purpose for me? Is this to take sannyasa or to work without work in devotion? See, what is my duty to do work with devotion? So Krishna clarified. He said both are on the same path. If you are doing that too, they are both on same path, either by sannyasa, renunciation, or work in devotion. You see, they are both same. But I suggest to go for work and devotion because we need to do to take care of our body. You see, so for that we need to work. So work with the devotion is there. So last three verses I'll just recap quickly. We said jnanena tu tad ajnanam yesham nashitam atmanah tesham aditya vajnanam prakashati tat parama. That was 5:16. When, however, one is enlightened with the knowledge by which nescience is destroyed, then his knowledge reveals everything as the sun lights up everything in the daytime. So this Bhagavad Gita, in other words, is the light for us because the knowledge about Krishna. Krishna is talking about himself, and he said, when whoever one is enlightened. So we are, as I said, Om Gyanti Mirandasya. We are enlightened by our Guru and Guru Parampara and our Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, who has given us this nice Bhagavad Gita in his own nice clarifications with all purports, clarifying each and every almost verse. And this is knowledge, and that's how we can select between knowledge and we can destroy our nescience. Then his knowledge reveals everything as the sun lights up everything. So when we have the knowledge, like sun brightens up the day for everybody, this knowledge will brighten up our intelligence, you see. And the next verses was tad buddhyas tad atmanas tan nishthas tad prayana gachanti apunar avritim jnana nirduta kalmashaha. When one's intelligence, so as I said, when the knowledge enlightens our intelligence, when one's intelligence, mind, faith, and refuge are all fixed in the Supreme, then one becomes fully cleansed of misgivings through complete knowledge, and thus proceeds straight on the path of liberation. So once we get the knowledge about Krishna, and when we are qualified that he is our Lord, we are his subordinates, we are supposed to serve him, he's our master. See, then we are cleansed of our all misgivings, all our sins are wiped off. You see, Krishna cleans all our sins and takes us back, as he says, path of liberation. Then we are on the path of liberation. That means Krishna takes us back into his kingdom, and then we are free from birth and death. And that's the main purpose of our birth. Main purpose of our human beings taking birth in this world, so that we can acquire the knowledge about Krishna, and we can free ourselves from the cycle of birth and death. There's no point just going into the birth and death and committing various kind of sins, and then going into different species of life. That is not purpose of our life, because that's animal life. As Prabhupada, so many times he has explained that cats and dogs, they also doing the same thing, like eating, defending, mating, and sleeping. See, those four things they do. So we human being, we do the same thing. We eat, we sleep, we mate, and we defend ourselves. You see, so that's kind of, if we are just doing those four things, that means we are living just an animal life. But to free ourselves from that one, we have to enlighten our intelligence, you see, and read about Krishna, and clear our mind, the misgivings, you see, through complete knowledge, and thus proceed straight on the path of liberation. That was 9:17, and then we, I think, read 9:18 as well, and that one was Vidya Vinaya Sampane Brahmane Gavihastini Shuni Chaiva Shiva Pakecha Pandita Sarma Darshinaha. So the humble sages, by the virtue of true knowledge, see with equal vision a learned and gentle Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater, outcast, you see. So these are the when humble sages. Sages means they are in knowledge. They acquire the knowledge of Krishna, of God. Once they are in knowledge, sages, they are in knowledge, they see with equal vision. They don't see about the body. They don't think we are this body. They think we are the spirit soul. We are in problems. We face problems because we specify ourselves with the body. See, we designate ourselves that we are Indian, we are Hindus, we are they're saying Americans, we are English, we are Irish, we are French. Different designation of this body we say. See, we actually we are not Indian or Hindu or English or whatever this body. We are not this body. We have to realize that we are the spirit soul. We are a spirit soul, you see. And spirit soul is pure, see. So we have to come to that position. We have to purify ourselves completely. We have to consider we are not this body, and we are not non-permanent. This body is non-permanent, but there's one inside, embodied inside, the soul, that is permanent. That is connected with that is the part of Krishna, and we need to go back to that. That part has to merge back into Krishna, into the service of Krishna. So that's the and when we are in that knowledge, when we acquire that knowledge that we are not this body, then we see all living beings in the same state. That a dog is also has got soul in it, a cat has got soul in it, the elephant has got soul in it, cow has got soul in it, even the Brahmana. I'll share you the photo of that. 1 minute. Have you got this picture? Can you see this picture?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So can you see this? This is the Brahmana. That's the sage. See? So he sees a Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater. You can see everyone has got Krishna in it. Can you see? Brahmana has got Krishna in it. Cow has got Krishna in it. Elephant is with Krishna, dog is Krishna, and the dog eater or Chandala, he's got Krishna as well, you see. So this picture is completely specifies our position as well, see. This is very nice actually picture. This one shows our, our designation, that we are not this body. So we should not apply ourselves as body, as we should not designate ourselves as body. And now the next one, the one we are doing today is that's 19, 519, and that one says, those whose minds are established in sameness and equanimity have already conquered the conditions of birth and death. They are flawless like Brahmana, and thus they are already situated in Brahmana. So once, like last time also, I think Atul Prabhu and Mataji asked me that there are so many repetitions in this last, I think 517 connects with the 934, So there, and sameness, he says there's a sameness. And Mataji asked in the 12th chapter, 12:8, I think she said, it's a repetition of the same, like mind and intelligence. Also. So it is repetition because, what is Hare Krishna Mahamantra? We chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 108 times by 16 times. Whoever chants 16 rounds. So it's a repetition, isn't it? We repeat so many times in a day. But why? So that we connect ourselves to Krishna. So there is a repetition. The whole Bhagavad Gita is a repetition. As I said, Bhagavad Gita is divided into three parts. The first chapter is duty, karma, and as we are doing this karma yoga, action in Krishna consciousness, this chapter, karma, and then next six chapters is devotional service, and the last six chapters are knowledge. See, but they are all connected to devotion only. Either karma, we do karma for devotion, we get knowledge for the devotion as well. See, at the end, we are all connected. So that's why there's repetition. And all the first six chapters, middle six chapters, last six chapters, it is repetition. See, I was reading one of the verses in this one, 18th chapter as well. I can see if I can find that one. Yeah, I got it here. I'll share that with you as well. See, desktop. One minute. Yeah, can you see that? Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma na shochati na kankshati sama sarveshu bhuteshu mat bhaktim labate param. And what is the translation? One who is thus transcendently situated at once realizes the supreme Brahmana and becomes fully joyful. He never laments or desires to have anything. He is equally disposed toward every living entity. In that state, he attains pure devotional service unto me. So it is repetition, isn't it? What we learned 518, that Vidya Vane Sampane, is different words, but the actual idea is the same, that Vidya Vane Sampane, Brahmane Gavi Hastini. So we see equanimity in all the different parts. And those whose minds are established sameness, when we see that we are not this body, it's all Krishna, spirit soul in all the bodies, spirit soul is there, and that's part of Krishna, and that's part of Krishna. When we see that, and the condition of birth and death, yeah, we have already conquered the condition of birth and death. That means when we have that kind of knowledge that we are not this body and we are spirit soul, and all the living beings are the same like us, sameness, it says. When we see the sameness of that every living entity has got that spark of Krishna, that soul in it. That means when we see the sameness, that means we have already conquered the birth and death, you see. Then we are already understood the birth and death, you see. And they are flawless like Brahmana, and thus they are situated in Brahmana. And then we are already connected to Krishna, you see. And we free ourselves from birth and death, that means we acquired liberation. Equanimity of mind, Krishna, Prabhupada said, equanimity of mind, as mentioned above, is the sign of self-realization. So that's the whole idea of reading Bhagavad Gita is self-realization. We say realize ourselves as a spirit soul, not the body. You see, those who have actually attained to such a stage should be considered to have conquered material conditions, specifically birth and death. As long as one identifies with his body, he is considered a conditioned soul. So when we say we are this body, I'm this, I'm that, see, I'm rich, I'm poor, see, that means we are identifying ourselves with the body. See, we are not identifying ourselves with the spirit as a spirit soul. That means we are conditioned. So when we free ourselves from that condition that we are spirit souls, we are not this body. We got nothing to do with body. This body is temporary, and that will be destroyed one day. See, with the time. See, so this body is only given to us temporary to realize Krishna consciousness. And once we are realize that, whether this body is gone or it lives, doesn't matter, doesn't make any difference to me. See, we are just like there's the one nice verse, I think from Padma Purana or something. Atmanam rathinam vidhi, Sariram ratham evacha, Atmanam rathinam vidhi, Sariram ratham evacha. Very nice word, that one. I forgot it now. 1 minute. It's there somewhere. Atmanam ratinam vidhi, Sariram ratham evacha, Buddhim tu sarathim vidhi, Mana pragram evacha, Indriyani hayan ahur, Vishyan teshu gocharan. I'm slowly remembering that. Atmanam ratinam vidhi, Shriram ratham evacha, Buddhim tu sarathim vidhi, Mana pragram evacha, Indriyani hayan ahur, Vishyan teshu gocharan, Atma indriya mano yuktam, Bhuktete ahur manishna. That this body, this Atma is like a, this body is like a, it's like a vehicle, it's like a car, see, and Atma inside is the driver, see, who drives this body, see. Atmanam rathinam vidhi, Shariram ratham. So this body is just like a vehicle which has got a driver in it, that's Atma. And Buddhim tu sarathim vidhi. The intelligence is the what do you call it? Steering wheel, or no, Buddhim is the Sarathi. Yeah, Buddhim is the driver. The intelligence, let me just properly read the translation, then I don't want to misguide you. It's a very nice verse actually. I'll tell you from which there are two verses together. Yeah. Atmanam rathinam vidhi, Shariram ratham evacha, Buddhim tu sarathim vidhi, Manha pragaram evacha, Indriyani hayanahur, Vishayam steshu gocharan, Atma indriya mano yuktam, Bhokte te ahur manishnaha. This is from Katha Upanishad, first canto, third chapter, verse 3 and 4. And Vasa translation, the individual, that soul, is the passenger in the car of the material body. So we are like only passengers in this car. This spirit soul is passenger in this car, you see, in this body. And intelligence is the driver, buddhi, buddhim tu sarathim vidhi. That's the driver, see. Mind is the driving force, and driving instrument. Pragram means, what's it? Lagam. Hindi maybe we call it lagam, see, or the reins. In English they call it reins, you see. So the pragraham is rein, see. So mind is our rein, see. And the senses are the horses. Five senses we have. Those are horses. The self is the enjoyer or sufferer in this association of the mind and senses. So spirit, soul inside is the enjoyer or sufferer in the association of mind and senses. So it is understood by great thinker. So as I said, this body is just like a vehicle, see, and the one we are inside is the passenger. We are only passengers in this car. So that passenger can carry on, but the vehicle can break down anytime. See, passenger can travel from one. So if one car is broken or one vehicle is broken, we get into the other vehicle. See, the vehicle can be given up, but the driver is the passenger inside. It carries on. See, okay. So, but as soon as he is elevated to the stage of equanimity, so when we have that equanimity with all the living entities, that we don't specify ourselves as a body, that I'm Indian or as I said, I'm American, different designations. That means we understood the life, we understood the self. Then he's, as Prabhupada says, after he is liberated from conditioned life. That means we are not conditioned. See, we are breaking our conditional life. When we realize that we are only spirit soul. See. In other words, he is no longer subject to take birth in the material world. So once we realize that we are spirit soul and we are servants of Krishna and we are serving Krishna with that mind, that you are our Lord and everything belongs to you. Isha Vasyam Idam Sarvam. Everything belongs to you. You see, you have whatever you have given it to me. That one only I can use. Utilize for whatever time I have, whatever quota you have given me. I'm happy to accept that one. And whatever good or bad comes to us, we have to be prepared for that as well. We have to see with equal vision as well, equipoised. There are so many different verses on that subject as well, that we have to be equipoised. You see. He is liberated from condition. In other words, he is no longer subject to take birth in this material world, but can enter into the spiritual sky. Now, even Prabhupada is guaranteeing that once we conquer, we understand that fact. Once we have that knowledge that we are like the self, we are the spirit souls, and God is our supreme. Then we already conquered our conditional life, and we are ready for liberation. And we can even enter into we can free ourselves from birth and death and enter into the spiritual sky. The Lord is flawless. Krishna, so Prabhupada said, Lord is flawless. He's completely pure. And not even a dint of impurity Krishna. That is the reason we are in this world. We are in the material world. We are not with Krishna because we are not pure. And what we are learning, when we have the knowledge, when we are enlightened, as we are learning these verses, when we are enlightened, we have that knowledge, we have enlightened ourselves that we are not this spirit body, we are not this body, we are spirit soul. Then when we are surrendering to Krishna, we are serving Krishna, our super soul. That means we are purifying ourselves. That's the process. And once we are purified, then we are qualified to go back to Krishna. He will happily accept it. I say flawless because he is without attraction or hatred. So he says, I don't hate anybody. See, there's one nice verse in the 19th chapter, I think. No, sorry, 9th chapter. Let me go to that one. This is a nice verse again. It's a 929. It says, Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dvesho stina priya ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya mai teteshu chapyaham. So what's the translation? It says, I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all. But whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is me, and I am also a friend to him. So what can we have? You see, when we have a super soul as our friend, when we are, because he said, I'm not partial to anybody, and that is true as well, isn't it? If we see even whether it's a small insect like an ant or an elephant, they have been taken care of Krishna. They don't chant Krishna conscious, Krishna Hare Krishna mantra, you see, but still they are taking care of them. See, Krishna is taking care of them and gets his own due, food, whatever. Elephant get their own due, with big volumes and small volume. We human also we get all our dues, you see. So he said, I'm not partial to anybody. But he is kind to, or he favors the devotees. When we are serving him, that means we are in devotion, you see. Whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend. So he's calling us, even if we serve him, he says, you are my friend, see. And when you are my friend, I am also your friend. And then once we have the person who's taking care of all the universes, the whole kind of creation, see, when we have such a rich person who is our friend, then what else do we need? We don't need temporary friends, you see. We have a permanent friend, see. Once we have friendship with him, then we are already free from our cycle of birth and death, and that's the purpose of our life, that we should be free from our birth and death. That's why we are in this world. Okay, so once we stop that, he says Krishna is flawless because he is without attraction or hatred. Similarly, when a living entity is without attraction or hatred, so when we have that kind of quality, we don't hate anybody, or we don't get attracted to anybody. Okay, this is my friend, that's my enemy. When we specify those two things, that means we have to condition, you see. We are not overcome. We should not specify anybody, this person is not good, this person is good. So that's like attraction and hatred. We shouldn't have that. We should have equanimity. We should see with equal vision that this, whether it's a good person or bad person, this one has got still soul in it. See, it's got a spark of Krishna in it. So we should see everything, like as I said, dog or a cow or elephant, Brahmana, we should see with equal vision, you see. So once we have that, that means we become flawless as well, you see, and eligible to enter in the spiritual sky. Then we are ready to see Krishna, see. Such persons are to be considered already liberated, and their symptoms are described below. So we'll read the next verse. As Prabhupada says, we should see the next this thing. So I'll go to the next verse and we can read through that one. That's 520. I'll share that with you on the screen. Okay, you got it? Na praharshet priyam prapya nodvijate prapya cha priyam sthira buddhir asammudo brahmavid brahmani sthitah. So I'll read the synonyms as well. Synonyms. Na, never. Praharshet, rejoices. Priyam, the pleasant. Prapya, achieving. Na, does not. Udvijate, become agitated. Prapya, obtaining. Cha, also. Apriyam, the unpleasant. Sthira buddhi, self-intelligent. Asamudha, unbewildered. Brahmavit, one who knows the Supreme perfectly. Brahmani, and the transcendence. Sthita, situated. And the translation is, a person who neither rejoices upon achieving something pleasant, nor laments upon obtaining something unpleasant, who is self-intelligent, who is unbewildered, and who knows the science of God, is already situated in transcendence. And purport by Srila Prabhupada says, the symptoms of self-realized person are given herein. That's the symptoms of the self-realized person. See, the first symptom is that he is not illusioned by the false identification of the body. As we are, so this is like last time they asked that there's so much repetition. It is repetition. He keeps, Prabhupada also, he keeps on reminding us that we are not this body, we are not this body, we are not this body. So that's the main purpose of our life. We have to understand that we are not this body. We are not connected to this body. We are only connected to this body temporarily. And this body is provided to us so that Atmanam Ratinam Vidhi. So we can realize the main purpose of our life, you see. False identification of the body with his true self. He knows perfectly well that he is not this body, but is the fragmental portion of the Supreme. Yeah, so we are part of Krishna, personality of Godhead. He is therefore not joyful in achieving something, nor does he lament in losing anything, which is related to his body. This steadiness of mind is called Sthira Buddhi or self-intelligence. He is therefore never bewildered by mistaking the gross body for the soul. Yeah, so when we should not consider this body as soul, we are not this body. That's what Prabhupada keeps repeating so that we understand that, you see. Nor does he accept the body as permanent and disregard. So with this body, he says it's not permanent, you see. It will come to end at some moment, you see, and disregard the existence of the soul. This knowledge elevates him to the station of knowing the complete science of the absolute truth, namely Brahmana, Paramatma, and Bhagwan. He thus knows his constitutional position perfectly well without falsely trying to become one with Supreme in all respects. This is called Brahman realization or self-realization. Such steady consciousness is called Krishna consciousness. So that's the Krishna consciousness, as I said. When we realize that the three aspects of Krishna, that's Brahmana, Paramatma, and Bhagwan. Brahmana is the effulgence of Krishna. Paramatma is the super soul. He is in everybody's heart. And Bhagwan, the Krishna himself, you know. He thus knows his constitutional position perfectly well. So once we realize that we are a spiritual spark, we are part of Krishna, without falsely trying to become one with the Supreme in all respects, this is called Brahmana realization or self-realization. That means we realize that we are not this body, we are a spirit soul. See, that's a self-realization. Such steady consciousness is called Krishna consciousness. Yeah. So that's Prabhupada says Krishna. So when we get something, we should not rejoice. You know, when we are rich, we should not have like rejoice. And suddenly, when we become poor, we should not complain. You know, or we lose everything. We should not complain that we got nothing left. How has Krishna treated us like that? No, in every situation, we have to be happy. See, whether good comes or bad comes. Like many of us, we complain that, you know, I heard somebody other day saying that I don't know whether I read somewhere or heard somebody that somebody was complaining that it's difficult to convince my family, you know, that you should also, you know, come to temple with us, or you should hear Krishna's this thing. They are interested, you see. Many of the families, they complain that, you see. Even I have the same problem. What to say of other? Even I have the same problem, you see. And nobody in the family, you know, wants to join me, you know. They don't restrict me, but they don't want to join me. So that's the problem with every family, see. So what's the problem? Because they are not realized. No matter how you convince them that this is, you are not, your body is temporary, you are the spirit soul, and you should realize that, but they are not ready to accept it. They consider themselves as this body. So what is the solution for that? You know, we can only pray to Krishna. That Krishna, as you have given us little bit of an idea about you, little bit of knowledge about you, some association of your devotees, you see, and we are chanting your name, we are reading about you, you have really bestowed your mercy upon us, so you mercy upon this, give same mercy to others as well, see. So that's once, you know, and at some stage Krishna is very kind, as he said, Krishna says that I'm equal to everybody, see, but to devotee I always care for devotees, you see. So as a devotee, as when we consider little bit of our devotion we have, and we offer to Krishna, just please be kind to everybody, then he will listen. You know, slowly. I have seen so many examples in our own temple as well. You know, some people, they were not like listening to their parents or not understanding, they have become like, devotees. They understand, what Krishna is, you see, and they are like slowly coming to the track, of Krishna consciousness. See. And they are showing their interest. That's the idea. That means Krishna listens, isn't it? Once you have the mercy of Krishna, we pray to him, he understands, then he will attract them as well. Like we got the attraction, they'll get the attraction, because we were like, even though I was born in the Brahmin family, I had no attraction for Krishna. I had one picture from young age when I was a child. I still have that. I carry with me all the time. See. So that picture, I always used to bear in mind that he is my friend. I used to treat him as a friend. But I never used to think that he is a god. See, he's a friend. He cares. Whenever I used to have some kind of problem, I used to look at him. See, I'm suffering. You are smiling. He's got a nice smiling face. That's the only picture. First times I have seen Krishna's teeth. See, I'll share with you sometimes. See that picture. So Krishna shows his teeth that he's smiling. So he say, "I'm suffering. I'm in the bed, lying, and you are smiling." When I used to be a young boy, I used to tell him, that. So he understood that, slowly, when I came to out of that age, that ignorance age, young age, slowly, he gave me that knowledge. He's giving me still as well. I'm not qualified at all. See, I'm learning slowly from association of devotees, coming to temple. You see, reading Prabhupada's books. And Krishna is giving his mercy to me. That yes, you have to understand. This come on the right track. So he's merciful. Krishna is merciful. See, he will be, once we consider him as our friend, then he say, I'm a friend to you. If you are a friend to me, I'm a friend to you as well. I'll be merciful to you. I'll make you understand what the life is. And once we have realized that and we give it to others, then slowly they will also. That's the purpose of our life. Whatever we learn from the acharyas and our gurus, then it's our duty. Like, why do we do book distribution? That's our duty. That's what we are sharing our whatever knowledge we have acquired from our acharyas and our Guru Maharaj and our associate devotees. It's our duty to give it to others as well. See, that is the purpose of our life. Like, why did Prabhupada took so much trouble to come to West? You see, he could have easily have. He was elderly person, 70, 69, 70-year old. You see, he could have easily he took sannyas, and he could have just retired in India and have chant Krishna's name, read books, and write books. He was already liberated. You see, person. See, as he said, when God realized. So once he has realized, he was already free from birth and death. He is already like a liberated person. You see. Then what was the purpose of him coming to West? That was the purpose. You see, he left India. On the ship. On that ship, he had 2 heart attacks. Such an elderly person, he had still he didn't give up. And for 1 year, he really suffered. With the drug addicts and cold weather, no money. He suffered there in New York, for 1 year. And still, he didn't give up. At the end, he became like, when he was seeing that there's no hope, he gave up. Like, Krishna, I give up now. You see, I came with the hope that I'll be able to deliver your message to people, but now I'm not going anywhere. It's only I'm in puppet in your hands. Now you make me dance the way you want. I give up. I'm completely dependent on you. Then suddenly everything started moving. And now he traveled 14 times all over the world, around the world. See, at that, before, when Prabhupada left, we had 108 temples around the world. See, that's big achievement, isn't it? Such an elderly person at this over 70 years age. See, he travels around the world. So that was his purpose. To give the knowledge to others, to enlighten ours. So that's our duty as well. We should enlighten ourselves and pass on that knowledge to others. I'll see if I can add another word, read another verse quickly, and then we can. 521. Okay. Bhaya parpasheva asaktam asaktma vindati atmani yat sukham sa brahma yoga yuktatma sukham aksham ashunate. Okay, the translation is, such a liberated person is not attracted to material sense pleasure, but is always in trance, enjoying the pleasure within. And this way, I'll share that with you actually. You can, okay. Such a liberated person is not attracted to material sense pleasure, but is always in trance, enjoying the pleasure within. In this way, the self-realized person enjoys unlimited happiness, for the concentrates on the Supreme. For he concentrates on the Supreme. And what does the purpose say? Sri Yamunacharya, a great devotee in Krishna consciousness, said, Yad avadi mama cheta Krishna pada vrinde nava rasa dhamanya udyatam rantum asit tad avadhi bhat nari sangame smrayamane bhavati mukha vikarah sushitu nishtivanam cha. Since I have been engaged in the transcendental loving service of Krishna, realizing ever new pleasure in him, whenever I think of sex pleasure, I spit at the thought of my lips curled with distaste. A person in Brahma Yoga or Krishna consciousness is so absorbed in the loving service of the Lord that he loses his taste for material sense pleasure altogether. The highest pleasure in terms of matter is sex pleasure. The whole world, excuse me, excuse me, the whole world is moving under his spell, and a materialist cannot work without this motivation. But a person engaged in Krishna consciousness can work with greater vigor without sex pleasure, which he avoids. That is the test in spiritual realization. The spiritual realization and sex pleasure go ill together. A Krishna conscious person is not attracted to any kind of sense pleasure due to his being liberated soul. Right. Excuse me. Right. So it's a person who neither rejoices upon achieving something. No, we just did this, didn't we? So this is 521. Such a liberated person, once we realize that we are not this body, we are spirit soul, and we are kind of such a liberated, we are, as we read the last translation, that we are already liberated. When we realize that such a liberated person is not attracted to material sense pleasure, but is always in trance, enjoying the pleasure within, you see. So once that's the quality of sannyasis. Or even if we are grasta, when we realize that we are not this body, we are spirit souls, and we are connected to Krishna, and then all the pleasures of other pleasures we are not attracted to those pleasures, you see. We give up those pleasures, you see. Enjoying the pleasure within, then we enjoy pleasure in the self, in the soul. In this way, the self-realized person enjoys unlimited happiness, for he concentrates on the Supreme. That's the quality of the devotees. Devotees are always happy. Why they are happy? Because they are connected to Krishna. See, and there's one verse, if I can find, is in the 10th chapter, and I think 10th verse. 10th chapter, 10th verse. Let me go to that verse. I'll just no 9th and 10th. 9 and yes, Chaturshloki. Machita Madgata Prana Bodhayanta Parasparam Kathayantascha Mam Nityam Tushanti cha Ramanti cha. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. So, when we that's the idea about it. See, when we go, why do we go to temple? Because we enjoy there. See, I always look forward whenever there's a program on Sunday or any other program. I look forward to it. See, because that's the enjoyment. Like last Sunday we have 6 hour kirtan. That was really enjoyable because non-stop we are hearing about Krishna. I see. That's the enlightening and like devotees. When we are in association of devotees, that means we are enlightening each other. See, that's the main purpose of our life. Thus we enlighten each other and we understand our self, that we are spirit soul and we are subordinate of Krishna. We are supposed to serve Krishna. He is our supreme father, and we then he whether we get liberation or not, that's not the question. See, we should not even expect that one from Krishna, that we are looking for the liberation. Whatever condition he gives, we are supposed to be happy. That's the idea of being devotee. That is how we become devotee. Then we whether as Krishna said, whether happiness comes or distress comes, we are to live in equanimity. That's what we learn through our today's verses. You see, that we should never rejoice, or we should never be joyful if good thing comes, and we should never be in distress when the bad thing comes. You see, we should be equipoised in all conditions. That's the main purpose of our lives. So I'll stop here. If anybody has got any questions or comments or corrections, please share with me, and I'll be really grateful. Thank you very much. Any questions anybody's got?
No, Prabhuji.
No? Yeah. Yeah, everybody satisfied? So it is kind of repetition, and we'll see all the verses they have, because that is what Prabhupada wants to give the idea that if you want to liberate yourself, you have to be self-realized. You have to realize that we are not this body, we are spirit soul, and we are part of Krishna. We need to go back to Krishna. And what's the idea of going back to Krishna? To serve him. Once we serve him by chanting, hearing about him, reading about him, see, sharing with others, hearing from others, that's the main purpose of our life. Okay. So we'll finish today's and next one, next 4th, I think, 4th of January will be in the new year. So we finish our year with 521, and we'll see. We'll try and finish before Radhavanath Prabhuji comes. We'll try and finish this chapter, 5th chapter, and then I'll share with you the Mahatmya, the importance of this chapter. You see, why this chapter is so important. Lord Vishnu says these 18 chapters are my body. You see, first 5 chapters are my face, my head. See, first 5 chapters are my head. Next 10 chapters, that's from 6 to 16, is my arms. We have 10 figures, isn't it? So 10. Next 10 chapters, Krishna says, is my arms, you see. And then 17 chapter is my belly. Lord Vishnu says, or Krishna, see. He says, next 17 chapter is my belly, is my stomach. And no, sorry, 16 chapter, sorry. 6 to 15 is my arms. 16 chapter is my belly, and 17 and 80 chapters are my feet, my lotus feet. Last 2 chapters, 17 and 18, which Lord Vishnu says is my lotus feet. So once we finish this chapter, then I'll share you the story about, that's from Padma Purana. Lord Vishnu tells Lakshmi Ji, and we'll read that what's the Mahatma, what's the importance of this 5th chapter. When we finish that chapter, we'll share that with you. I'll share that with you. Okay. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. And we'll meet again on 4th of January by the will of Krishna, mercy of Krishna. We'll meet either. So anybody, Mataji, you want to give us darshan today? Please, If Lord is not
So
resting,
sorry, I've just put them rest now.
rest. Okay, as 9 o'clock. Yes,
Yes.
I can understand.
So when I
Yes.
was doing Narsingha prayers, I gave the darshan. Did you miss it
Yes,
then?
yes, I saw. Yeah, yes, sir. No worries.
Thank you for a wonderful class. Thank you so much for your time,
Yeah.
Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
No, no, Mataji, it's my pleasure. I'll give you darshan of Radha Gokulananda. 1 minute.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Oh, Jai, beautiful. Thank you so much. Jai Radha.
Shri Radha Gokulananda ki jai.
Is this from Bhaktivedanta Manor, Prabhuji?
Yes,
Oh,
it's from one of the calendar I had long time ago.
okay.
So it's from that calendar. I
Very
have
nice.
set it in my, I have pasted in my room. So morning and evening, when I get up, I have the darshan. When I
Very nice.
sleep, when I go to sleep, I have darshan. When I get up in the morning,
Very nice. Yes.
even if it is dark, I put the torch on and have darshan in the morning.
Very
So when I
nice.
get up, yeah. So thank you. Hare
Thank you
Krishna.
so much. Hare
So we'll
Krishna.
end here and we'll meet next on 4th. Hari
Okay.
Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Srila
Thank you,
Prabhupada
Prabhuji.
ki
Hare
jai.
Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah.